Thank you, Candy. Hi, everyone. My name is Ashod Nakashian. I go by Ash. It's easier, I think. And I hope you're having a wonderful conference so far. Today I'm going to talk about multimedia feedback. That was a feature that was highly requested. We've added this late last year, and it just came to fruition this year when we're having more and more feedback from users as to how useful it is and what kind of paper cuts they're seeing. The idea is fairly straightforward. You have a piece of video or maybe an audio recording and you want to embed it in your document and you want to be able to play it back. This has certain challenges as we will see. But the basic idea is you want to have interactive controls. You want to be able to play it and pause and go back and forward as you would expect with any media playback software. But all of that, of course, is in the document. And with online, you want all of that to work on the browser side, which adds another level of complexity. But the advantage with the browser is that the browser already recognizes a number of standard formats, so we wanted to leverage that. Yet, of course, you want to be able to edit your documents, right? That's the whole idea. So if you have a piece of video embedded, you also want to be able to deal with it like any other shape. On the UI side, which was done by Shimon, the idea was that we will receive from the server, the backend, CoolWSD, all the necessary information in the form of a URL that the server will be able to serve the media from. We needed to create the HTML elements so that it will be not just visible on the screen, but also something that the user can manipulate, right? To edit, to resize, you need that. But at the same time, when you're doing a full screen presentation, the full screen presentation, it works in a slightly different way by exporting an SVG, which is a format that browsers natively understand, and that is what is being played back. So we needed to embed the URL there as well. And all of this is basically working off of the server just as a separate endpoint. So there's a bit of security that I'm going to revisit. On the backend side, what we needed to do was we needed to extract all the media while we were loading the document. Why? Because you need to know in advance what embedded media streams exist in the document, primarily because a single stream can be reused multiple times in different places and in different ways. But ultimately, it's the same stream and it's embedded once. It's deduplicated in the document. And that's what you want to serve. You don't want to pretend that there are 100 copies when there is really only one. So we do that up front. We cache the data so that the server will be able to revisit it again in a unique way. And what we do is we create a unique URL that is secure in the sense that it has random keys generated in it, and also it has the full document-specific the WAPI source URL, which identifies the document on the server level. So it has the domain, it has a fully qualified URL. So all of this is packaged into one admittedly long URL that is unique, that is safe, and so on. And that's what we expose to the document. From then on, once we get the request, we stream the file just like any other streaming service. It all works fairly easily. This is a quick demo. I have two users opening the same document. It's a presentation. One of them is playing, and you can see when the other user is selecting one of the videos, the other user can see that there is a selection. Here you can see the admin, which is the other user, has this selection, and you can see that they're both playing and pausing independently. Here there is an interactive resizing happening. Obviously, the other view will also get an immediate refresh, and their playback has to stop and restart because we can't track where they were. Notice that all of the interactive parts are happening on the browser. The server is only streaming the contents without really knowing what's in it. And this is a full screen view of it. By the way, there is also audio in the recording. Unfortunately, it doesn't play back from the speakers, but I can hear it from the laptop here. Basically, what you've seen is a completely interactive live demo that I did before coming to the conference. The design has a number of properties, and maybe one disadvantage that's worth mentioning. It's a fairly low CPU utilization on the server. We're just streaming the bits that were embedded in the document. There is no overhead of processing or recompressing the data or decompressing. We don't know what's really in the stream. All we know is that it's a media file that is embedded that we need to service it. At the same time, as I said, we deduplicate them, so we don't have the overhead of managing as many copies as the document might be referencing. So it really works fairly well. And because of the contents are typically already compressed to a good balance between quality and size, because it has to be embedded in the document, we also leverage that because we're only passing that along on the network. So again, very low overhead. The main compromise of this is that we rely heavily on the browser being able to unpack and understand the media format. Admittedly, this is a significant limitation if you think about it, but on the positive side, most of the formats that are currently commonly used are standardized. The browsers understand them. Unless it's a really archaic format, then you would have difficulty playing back. Fortunately, I haven't heard complaints for unsupported media. So pretty much everything that you'd expect to work does already work in the browser immediately, and that actually makes it easier because the user also gets an interactive experience with the controls that they're familiar with in their browser. And with that, thank you for listening.